Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Dave.
And today we have another Hooked on Adventures, and this time we're talking about the portal to who knows where.
Jump down in the description below where you find Nerdarchy the newsletter. Gain weekly tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Alright, so here is another Hooked on Adventure, and this one is again designed, if you'd seen some of the other ones that I came up with, where if you've got a party member that's missing, it's a great way to have him singled out because it's going to be a cyclical adventure. And what I have designed is you set up camp during your travels, and while someone's on watch, they're walking around and they find some weird, bizarre object. And it should be something that is going to draw their attention and not look like anything they've seen before, be it a strange material, strange writing, make sure it's written in a language that they don't have, whatever have you, something that's going to pique their interest. And they show it to whoever's awake, and when a couple people touch it, or they hold it a certain way, it opens up a portal and sucks everyone in. Now, if everyone's at your table and you want to use this adventure, well, then everybody's there. But if you got that one guy who didn't make it that night, well, he didn't come out of his tent, or he didn't wake up, and those that did wake up get sucked through this portal, and they find themselves in another plane of existence, and you can go crazy with it. It could be one of the elemental planes. It could be a plane where everything is just completely one step to the left of everything they're used to. It could be something that the laws of their world don't operate on the same spectrum. It's whatever it is that you want to do it, and the idea is they have to quest, adventure, and find some way back to their campsite. And that's going to be your cyclical adventure, so that the session will end pretty much where it started, in that campsite, with the person who's missing that night waking up saying, "Hey, where you guys been?"
So what you're saying is like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was not required.
Right.
No. That's one way to do it, or you could just literally have the portal open and either hands or tentacles or whatever grab the one player that's not there and pull them through.
Oh.
And then the rest of the party will hopefully try and follow them through and get them back. I mean, this part is a little risky because they might be like, "I'm not going over there. They just ate Bob." Yeah,
I was tentacles, man. Huh. I don't dig tentacles.
Yeah, I've seen enough anime to know this can't go good. So there's that. But then hopefully you get players that actually cooperate with your game and give you player buy-in and go, "Oh, that's the adventure for tonight, so maybe we should go get our player back." And there's all kinds of.
I know I've gamed with people who be like, "Man, it sucks to be him. All right, well, let's go."
I never liked Bob the Barbarian that much anyway. He was so uncouth and he smelled bad.
So there's lots of different things that you can do, and you want to set this up to be whether it's a dungeon crawl or a dungeon crawl in a forest setting. You're gonna do it in a way where I would have, when they get through the portal, whatever object they had initially found is gone, and they're just looking for another one, or they're looking for or they have it and they're looking for essentially like some kind of gateway, and this is a missing piece, and they can put it in, and that'll take them back there. And it's a great mechanic to be able to throw either what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you use the same monster stats that you're used to, but just describe it differently, in a way that they're not going to know what they're actually facing, and you don't have to do any extra work. Find things that are going to be the appropriate challenge, and just makes them look nothing like anything they're used to seeing.
Well, yeah, in that sense, it's also a great way to use monsters that wouldn't normally be in that terrain in that
right.
area, because especially if you're just kind of reskinning them.
Right.
The other thing too, and I've done this, is like random cave-ins and stuff like that, where where the parties doesn't have too much choice, or or if you wanted to use the portal idea where it's also less obvious that they've gone through a portal initially, like part of the discovery would be like, oh, we're somewhere else. You could definitely do like the character, vines shoot from a cave that they didn't realize was there and drags them physically through through the mouth of the cave. And when the players try and chase them down into the cave, which they're probably more likely to want to do that than go to a portal to who knows where.
Right.
It's only when they get through the cave that they realize that they're not where they were before. And they're you can even do this whole chase sequence where the gist or the main part of the adventure the whole time is them trying to chase down their companion being drugged by these vines or tentacles or whatever. Yeah, pretty much. But when obstacles appear, they encounter monsters. Or whatever, it would also probably make for some really comical situations.
That's
too.
Amazing. I love that.
Well, and it would be a different type of adventure too, where they constantly there's no standing around, there's no
Short rest.
Yeah, there's none of that. Like, it's a chase, but usually, like when we think of chases, I think a lot of times it's like, in my mind, when I'm thinking of designing a chase, it's like the players are being chased.
Right.
And in this case, you could do it where they're actually doing the chasing.
Right.
And every time something happens, it delays them a little bit, so their objective is getting a little bit further away, or maybe the battle if they start fighting a battle because of an encounter, it becomes a running battle. Like each time they're moving 30 feet, in the direction of Bob the Barbarian, and
Poor Bob the Barbarian.
I know everything happens to him. He happens to be half orc. So they're doing all this fighting and spell casting and whatever they're doing, but they're doing it as they take their normal amount of move.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Maybe even at some point the battle takes place, like they kind of catch up to him, but like they're pacing him, and like I can see the battle like taking part on Bob. Like you have like small monsters that are fighting from his back as he's being drugged, and they're shooting arrows at the players or casting spells.
I wonder if the cleric's ever gonna have to throw a healing word at the being drugged barbarian.
Nah, he's fine. He's barbarian. They're used to that.
They're used to it.
Yeah, I think it's a sport in barbarian land.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to research that sport.
Yeah, you should absolutely research that sport.
So, is there anything else that we want to throw in on this portal to who knows where?
Nah, I think that pretty much covers. That's enough to get started in putting together a venture for something fun and possibly whimsical. Oh, the only thing I would say is, I just reminded myself, is it is absolutely the opportunity to do different kinds of adventures. Like, if you wanted something darker and grittier and grimmer than you normally do, like this is a good place to put it. If you wanted something really lighthearted and whimsical and very like Alice in Wonderland, this would be the place to put it. And
it's a great way to be able to test those concepts on the players that are normally wanting something that's a more traditional game.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys let us know in the comments below what you think. How would you use this hook in your game? While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can head over to nerdarchy.com and check out all the cool stuff there.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.